Let's talk about SRS, Supplementary Retirement Scheme. And every year I have to talk about this topic because near the end of the year, you will be deciding whether you want to opt in to top up your SRS funds for tax relief. And just a quick run through for those of you who are totally unfamiliar with SRS. SRS is a voluntary scheme to complement your CPF to build up your retirement savings. You can think of it like a deferred tax benefit strategy and to really build your retirement savings. It is not an alternative to CPF because they work quite differently, and SRS is totally optional, unlike CPF where you have mandatory contributions. Anyway, when you contribute to SRS for the current year, it doesn't mean no tax. It's just that it reduces your chargeable income. Your chargeable tax will just be deferred until the time when you decided to withdraw, but there are some complements. So there are quite some calculations and of course some misconceptions that people have about SRS. But if you really have further questions, you can join us at our over 18,000 members Telegram group at Honey Money SG to ask your SRS questions there. Now, I have covered many topics on SRS previously, so you can go to YouTube and search Honey Money SRS. But one thing that I haven't addressed is that people are always talking about $400,000 being the magic number for SRS because people do not want to exceed this number in their SRS portfolio. And I'll tell you the fundamental reason why. But first, you have to understand the concept of SRS because once you have reached the statutory retirement age, which is currently 63 years old, you may start to withdraw your SRS without any penalty. Because if you withdraw any of your SRS funds below the statutory retirement age, you will be subjected to a 5% penalty on top of the tax. But here's the thing, right? Once you start SRS withdrawal, you have to complete it within 10 years. So you see $400,000 divided by 10, and that means each year you withdraw roughly around $40,000. Then the tax rules for SRS is that only 50% of SRS withdrawals are taxable. So that means 50% multiplied by $40,000, and that is $20,000. And if you remember the IRAS tax table, first $20,000 will be effectively zero tax, which is why many people feel that you shouldn't exceed $400,000 because of the tax reason. So like everything calculation is perfect, right? 40,000 you withdraw, 50,000 of it is taxable, which is 20,000, and 20,000 is tax-free. So effectively you pay no tax. Okay, so my opinion on this is that fundamentally it makes sense, especially the numbers, because numbers don't lie. And I feel that there's something that people are missing out on because these people are thinking about tax-free opportunities. But you know what else is tax-free in Singapore? Capital gains. And one of the ways to derive capital gain is through investments. And this is where many of you are keeping money in fixed deposits and bank accounts. Very safe. But here's the thing, with lower interest rates now, the returns will not outpace inflation because your chicken rice may cost $3 10 years ago, but now it is at least $5, which is why investing is one way to potentially keep your money from losing its purchasing power over time. And if you want to start investing as a beginner, it is difficult to know where to start. So here comes OCBC Robo Invest. It's designed for people who are new and pro investors alike, making it easy to build a portfolio that fits your risk level or investment preferences. You don't have to pick individual stocks. Robo Invest offers a variety of diversified portfolios so you can invest in what you like. Select from 38 portfolios like growth, income, US tech leaders, and more. Robo Invest Smart Portfolio Rebalancing also helps you stay on top of market opportunities without you having to constantly monitor markets and review investments. You can start from as little as $100 with a monthly investment option for selected portfolios. You see, investing is about growing your money to not only potentially maintain your purchasing power to afford chicken rice, but also to build long-term wealth. Plus, from now till 31st December 2024, enjoy up to $908 cash rewards on selected investments and insurance products, including Robo Invest. For more details, do check out this link below. So give OCBC Robo Invest a try. Now, I want to make it very clear that I believe 50% of SRS withdrawals being taxable is still a very big concession. So even if you have a very large SRS balance, for example, I'm going to double the $400,000 to $800,000. Even at 2x the amount, the tax is still very, very little. If you don't believe me, I'm going to do the exact calculation. So $800,000 spread over 10 years, $80,000 of it will be taxable. And since 50% of it is taxable, so 50% multiplied by 80,000, that is $40,000. And $40,000, can you look at which income tax bracket are you in? You're probably in the 3.5%. You are not even at the 7%, which means you only pay $550 based on the IRA's tax table. So if you look at the effective tax rate, you are talking about $550 over $80,000 of income, which is made out of your SRS funds. And you see the effective tax rate will be calculated as 0.69%. So you look at this 0.69% effective tax rate, it is much lesser than what you're paying right now. If you're a working adult in your 30s or even 40s, you're probably at least 7% income tax bracket, right? So you see 7% versus 0.69%, really no fight. Now this is highly assuming that you don't have other forms of taxable income as of the statutory retirement age, which is age 63, which means that by 63 onwards, you are not expected to continue in your full-time employment. You're starting to take things slow. So if you add on this $80,000 of SRS income, it's not going to hurt too much. So what I really want for my viewers is that don't have this limiting mindset, okay? We need to have an abundance mindset. We cannot limit ourselves to just $400,000 and then say, okay, $400,000, I'm going to stop SRS. I'm going to stop investing my SRS so that you don't cross 400. That is like limiting mindset. We need abundance mindset. It is okay to go above $400,000 and even as big as you can. I think this is the most important part of investing because you don't want to limit your profits. You don't want to limit your mindset. But speaking of SRS, I have to remind you again that this is not financial advice because I can only share what I'm doing. I cannot tell you what to do. So you do your own research and decide for yourself. But you know what I can share from an educational standpoint is I can show what is available for SRS to invest, right? Because this is educational point of view. So here are the list of items that your SRS can invest in. There will be stocks and shares, unit trusts and ETFs, Singapore savings bonds, insurance products, and also real estate investment trust, which is a form of equity as well. Then the next question you may ask is who should not contribute? So you can see that I'm quite favorable of the SRS because I feel that on one hand, it can help you reduce your taxes. On the other hand, I felt that the options for you to invest SRS are much more available than CPF. And, more people can start investing their funds instead of letting SRS funds sit there because SRS is not like high interest savings account, You pay very minimal interest if you don't use your SRS. But are there people who are not suitable to contribute to SRS? Yes, definitely. Let's list down some of these few. Number one, low or no taxable income. These are primarily people of the low income zone because if you don't have much income to be taxable, then there's no point to contribute to SRS, right? There's little tax savings to be enjoyed. And in fact, if you're not paying much taxes, there's no point doing any form of tax strategy at all. So save your money, then come back again when you have higher income. Number two, liquidity needs. Although SRS is still quite liquid, just that you have to pay the 5% penalty, but if you're not in SRS for the long term, like you believe that you will withdraw out this money someday in the next 10 years, then I think you'd rather not put the SRS because it's going to impact and hinder your growth to building wealth. Because those people who really put money in SRS, they know that they don't need this money until statutory retirement age, right? Otherwise, what's the point? It's only for emergency, like really life and death situation. So SRS, I make it clear again, is for long-term savings. It's not like a bank account liquid like that, okay? Although it can be used. Number three, better investment opportunities. If you felt that the SRS offerings for you to invest your money is not good for you, you have better opportunities. Like you want to invest in a startup, right? You need to use cash. You cannot use SRS funds. So better don't contribute to SRS because you will need these funds to invest in your new business. Then the last group of people who should not contribute to SRS is those people who are afraid of changes in the income tax policy. Of course, the current income tax policy is quite stable over the years, just that you are worried whether the government will raise the statutory retirement age and, change the way that people could withdraw their SRS. Because CPF policies have changed over the years, we are not sure about SRS. But one thing that I can tell you is that SRS, as long as you deposit $1, just $1 to lock in the retirement age, currently at 63, your next time statutory retirement age is raised, it doesn't affect you anymore because my lock-in retirement age is 62. I did it quite early last time. So even if you don't believe in SRS, you just open the account, you put in $1, at least lock in the age so that next time the statutory age raised again and you happen to have SRS funds, at least you can withdraw at the statutory retirement age that you lock in and not the further retirement age. So having said all of this, where do I invest my SRS funds in? I think I need to stress again, not financial advice, because nowadays I need to be very careful, and I don't want to like lead you all in and say that my investment is profitable, that means yours should be profitable. So no, it doesn't, because I've held these investments for a very long time, and if you don't have a long time frame like me and you don't have the circumstances, then you may fizzle out. So every form of investments will come with its own risk. So do your own research. I will share what I have right now. My SRS funds are with Withdrawals, and specifically in the BlackRock iShares S&P 500 US Index Fund, or short form as IE. So why I chose to invest in IE is fundamentally because of the cost. It is relatively affordable for the expense ratio. Fund level fees of IE is 0.08%, add in Withdrawals management fee of 0.3% per annum, total 0.38% per annum, which I felt that is okay, is affordable. And as of the current day of recording, I already have more than $40,000 invested in this fund as capital. And right now, it is enjoying some capital gains as the market has rose to an all-time high. Now, not just for Withdrawals, I do have another $20,000 placed in the Great SP by Great Eastern. It is kind of like an insurance endowment savings plan, short-term one, not long-term. When I subscribed to it, it was around 3.5% per annum. Then right now, I think it's around 2% per annum lah. So I think not worth already. 3.5% per annum was what I subscribed to. So this plan will expire by February 2026 lor. Then I'll see where I'll deploy my funds next. And for my SRS, I do not hold any of them in Singapore savings bond anymore, because most of my funds are already channeled into the Withdrawals portfolio, which is in the BlackRock iShares S&P 500 US Index Fund. And you see, Withdrawals is currently running this promotion until end of year, where you will get $100 of fee credits if you use my referral link to sign up and then make an investment, especially with SRS. Once again, I must share that whatever I'm doing, I have done my research, so you have to do your own research as well lah. You may not have the same conviction as me. And apart from all these items that I listed, are there any other ways to invest your SRS? Of course, yes, there are many other ways, but I think I'll cover them in a separate video. So if you want me to cover other options like Stashaway, Syfe, or even like Singapore stocks, right? What platform to use to invest your SRS? Then go and comment SRS plus one, because that will be a follow-up video to this. But regardless whether you want to start investing your SRS, I think it's good to at least contribute the $1 like I mentioned previously to lock in the retirement age first, then you think later, okay? Or you want to capture your current year-end tax relief, you just contribute to SRS first, then next year you come and think, but at least get the account first for the sign-up benefit, alright? So meanwhile, if other than SRS, you want to think about CPF, you have top up your CPF like SA and MA, but what about your OA? Your OA has some funds. You are thinking whether should you invest your OA, then I could refer you to my previous video, which you could check it out right here.